Hey everyone, welcome back to the Calgary Tech Talk Podcast, episode number 3. My name is Stuart Crawford, and with me, as always, is the one and only Mr. Carl Fransen from CTech Consulting Group. Carl, what's shaking this week, buddy?
Well, you know what? We're now basically in the forest of COVID right now, and all my staff is basically sitting down and basically understanding here is how we now live our new life.
And you're not going back to that. You're not going back to that new normal, are you?
No. I know last time you saw this sort of thing that's a banned word, and I agree with it. I hate those cliches. Power foods, like this miracle drug, new normal. Like, nah, it never works out well. But right now, I think we're settling down into a pattern of here's how we now basically live our life. And it's been a long time in coming, but I think we all adjust nicely to it. How about you?
Well, you know, Calgary's near and dear to my heart, but unfortunately I don't call Calgary home anymore. But where I live, everything's
something back to... You should fix that, by the way.
I should fix that. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely.
I should fix that. But, you know, where I live right now, everything's kind of back to normal. My wife and I went out for dinner at a steakhouse. It was relatively packed. The breakfast place I go to every morning is packed. Life is back to normal here in beautiful, not so sunny Florida right now.
Well, not so sunny Calgary. I wish we could say the same thing. I'm downtown and, well, actually, I was caught in my first rush hour traffic jam around 5 p.m. leaving Calgary today. Like, wow. So we are slowly coming back to normalcy, but I still think we're kind of a long ways away from actually having like the full effect of, I don't have to go outside and wear masks anymore, or gloves anymore, or at a social distance with my staff anymore. Oh, it's time coming.
You know, I was talking to Adam Rippon from City Technology Solutions the other night, and he said that his staff is still working remotely from home, but he's going into the office in Sydney, and he said it's the first time in weeks that he hit any traffic on Wednesday morning. So I think the world is starting to come back to some level of the new normal.
Oh, come on. Just whisper it to me one more time. Yeah, that new normal that we talked about, I think is basically the adaptation of what it is right now. And we are a little bit behind wherever you are, down Florida, right? But we are slowly adjusting to it. I did a job interview today with a potential new hire, and instead of actually doing it via Zoom or Teams or the phone, we did actually a walking interview in the park. Yeah. And you know what? Having the ability to just go outside and actually to talk to someone face to face outside the office and even out, like not virtually, really was like eventful. It was a great experience. And I thought to myself, you know what? Now that COVID is here and most of my staff are meeting, we're burning through hundreds, probably thousands of Skype minutes Teams minutes every single week. We're going to change our philosophy around a little bit, saying that, all right, guys, let's take the time to drive to a park and let's just do walking meetings. Let's just go someplace, grab some pizza, grab a drink, and just go for a walk and just chat about the agenda. Instead of sitting in our offices all day, not doing anything, being stagnant.
That's a good new normal to have.
You gotta stop with the new normal. You can say
that. Others love that terminology now. You got me hooked on it. Here's what I think, Carl. One person in our office was in first. I came in second, and slowly started introducing more and more people to the office. And you know what? Most people don't want to go back and work remotely now that they're back in a collaborative environment in the office, face-to-face meeting with people. I thought they would love to work from home, but it's quite the opposite.
It's really that give and take because CTech is the extreme. Out of the 1 through 10, we're a 10, and we don't have an office to begin with because we're already working remotely, and the business model is set up in that way, which allows us to be completely COVID immune on the business side. But one thing that we seriously are lacking is that human interaction. And we do things that we had to think of ways of actually adapting to this new way of doing business to keep that water cooler experience here. Because it's hard. Like, I don't have to basically dress up in my business clothes. I'm wearing a hoodie right now. And I'm sitting in a nice rocking chair upstairs in basically what we call the blue room. and my ward's over here, my wife's works over here, my son's crafts are over here, and they can walk in at any time. But it's really hard to get that office culture going. And what do you think we should do for that? Is there anything that you thought of that we can actually create that new office experience with like not being together at all?
Well, IT people will say, well, use Teams more.
Wow, good. Yeah, use more
Yeah.
of the of what's actually keeping us together virtually. You know
I
what?
mean, I think it. Here's my thinking on it. It's a good temporary type of solution for people that, especially people who are. If you, what I like about it is now the geographic limitation of hiring somebody in Calgary has been removed. If the right
Hmm.
hire is in Vancouver, well, I can hire him and use him or her on teams to collaborate with if they're a skilled professional in what they do. But and then have them come out to Calgary once a quarter for meetings or something like that, right? Um,
Can we take that thought for a second? Actually, just run with that. Just a little bit detour what we talked about right there. Let's take that to the nth degree. I have a new company I started up, and instead of me looking in Calgary for hires, I can now look, guess what, worldwide for hires.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And now with that, I won't have to move my family to follow my career. My career stays right where I am, and there's no business need for me to actually to physically be next to someone else to get a job done. I heard that I don't know, Twitter or Facebook or one of those big social media companies. Right now, they're actually saying, yes, you can work from home, but if you move someplace else, we will only pay you based on what the economy is in that area. So if you're living downtown Toronto or downtown Vancouver, and that was where home office actually was, but then you moved out to, say, Nelson, British Columbia, or a suburb of, I don't know, something like Brooks or something like that, and the
I,
cost of
I,
living
I
has
was thinking
shrunk so
Claire. I was
much.
thinking, I was thinking Claire's home, Alberta.
Claresholm, exact, oh, perfect. Claresholm, Alberta is exactly the great analogy because the cost of living right there is so less than basically the big city. Is we can basically the company is saying we will now pay you what's right in your geographical location.
We had a young lady who works for me come into my office a week or so ago, all upset because she has to move to Iowa. And
Mm.
she's, oh, I don't want to lose my job. I love it here. I love working with you guys. I love working with you and Missy. And said, who talked about losing your job? You can do what you need to do from Iowa. You know,
Pretty much.
she's
Yeah,
not working in the office anyways right now. She hasn't come back to the office from COVID. You wasn't planning to move her back to the office. She could do her job from Iowa quite easily.
yeah. And look at it this way: my bookkeeper happens to be down in the states right now. We may be moving, and we're basically I'm trying to cut costs wherever I can and make CTech more efficient. I ran the numbers, and with the exchange rate, with the paying her firm and for her services, it's costing CTech around $60 to $70 per hour for that one particular person.
Plus
I said
40% exchange rate.
it was terrible. Like when I saw that, going, hold on a second, I can't, I don't want to afford this. So what I did was I put out an email on Indeed and right across Canada saying, you know what, anyone anywhere in Canada or North America, I don't really care which, that has these experience can now work for CTech. There's absolutely no need to come to the office. There's no need to meet clients. There's no need to see me face to face. You can do all my paperwork, all my books, all my bookkeeping from wherever you are, and that's about it because we're
Well,
completely in the cloud.
my bookkeeper, fortunately, is in the same town I am, but I rarely see her. Everything's
Well,
done virtually.
yeah, I have no need to basically, there's no business need actually to physically be next to someone.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there naturally are pros and cons with that. A lot of the old school, the old guard, like I say, I like to see my lieutenants and my foot soldiers here so I can keep an eye on them, make sure that they're doing well. And that is a hard mentality to fix. Or like even the old guys saying like, I like to know where my data is. I'm gonna basically walk up, touch my server, and that's where my data is. That's not a mentality here to fix. But those mentalities don't equate to the current business realities right now. I'm going to basically take a company exactly the same as yours, build it completely virtual, and guess what? My overhead is a fraction of what your overhead actually is. Think about, let's say Walmart versus Amazon.
Yeah.
Who's winning that war now? Not the big box stores, not Walmart. It's the Amazons of the world that are completely winning that.
I just love Amazon.
I
So I just
I
love
buy
that.
everything from Amazon. Of course, that's I just buy through that.
They deliver my barbecue sauce and Traeger pellets weekly for me. I don't have to go.
Wow,
I don't have to go to the store and buy it.
Prime free shipping. Take advantage of it, and you get
Yep.
free Netflix out of it with Prime Video.
Exactly. I watch Amazon Prime Video. I got Prime Music on my phone. I got a annoying device in
Alexa in
my
the
office.
back.
You know, but
Yeah.
that's a good point there, Carl, because and we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. COVID has really awakened me to time-saving things like Amazon, like Instacart, like all those features. I thought about getting lunch today. DoorDash. By the way, I love
Exactly.
DoorDash over Uber Eats. DoorDash just blows Uber Eats away. But those type of services that didn't exist 5 years ago. What did I do? I had to get up, get on my desk, walk down to the restaurant, get lunch, stand in line, order my stuff, wait for it to get made, and then walk back to the office. Now I just put on my phone, and within half an hour, some nice gentleman or lady comes with my office with my lunch, and I go down, and I don't even have to pay for it. It's all paid for already. Actually,
Exactly.
just leave it at the door and ring the doorbell and leave.
Yep, and that is basically the way our whole society and economy is going. Technology is opening these doors for us that we're not limited to the brick and mortar of yesterday. But
So,
that brings back to our regular topic of actually what are we going to do about the whole human interaction thing? And
what? Sorry.
the whole human interaction.
Well, I want to talk about one other thing before you get into there.
Okay, go for it. What's up?
So I sent you an email this morning about the death of the IT professional. Did you see that? And how automation is going to kill IT professionals. I would love to get your opinion on that.
I don't know where this guy is coming from. Is the IT professional will need to evolve past that. I'm going to basically build servers from scratch into more of a solution stance. We are going to be more needed than ever as IT professionals are now solution providers to create solutions for businesses with the technology. Just because we have a tool that allows us to do more things, there is not enough time in the world for everyone to learn that tool and how to implement it correctly in a business sense. So the IT providers, yeah, they're definitely not dead, but they're going to do a minor evolution that they're going to have to look at businesses, understand how they actually work, then apply the tool to make this business better. And guess what? If any of the infrastructure fails, who are you going to call? No process automation is going to fix a broken physical switch or physical server. They're still going to be needed. So I'll be surprised that if techs go extinct in the next 50 years or so. That'll be a very big surprise for me.
But the role of the IT professional is going to change drastically. And I think that's where CTech's trying to get ahead of the curve, right? Because you and I have spoken about it at length over the last little while. Where majority of the IT people in Calgary are focused on, the networking, the patching, the monitoring, okay, let's VCIO and all that other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I think the role of the IT provider is going to go much deeper than that.
By far, yeah, and that's where I like the analogy between the old guard and the new guard. The old guard basically is, in this case, going to be going extinct day by day. You realize around 5-10 years ago, Dell had the biggest square footage in a conference or in a showcase. Mm-hmm. And all these hardware providers, new servers, new desktops, new modems, new whatever sort of thing, people flooded to that area. Right now, when you go to conferences, their square footage has shrunk to a postage stamp compared to what it was beforehand. Now, what I'm going to get into is the IT people who are focused on the physical, focused on the servers, desktops, laptops like that. There will be a place for you, but it won't be a big place. It'll be a small place.
We're still going to need infrastructure guys in the data centers.
Yep. But now, check this out. 10 years ago, every business had an Exchange server or an email server of some kind to process their email.
Yep.
I have not installed an Exchange server over 10 years. And now those Exchange administrators, yeah, they might have a job, but all the work is actually done by Microsoft right now, and they need to retrain. There's no need for a high-end Exchange administrator anymore because guess what? Your job's now been sassed out to that person who actually made it, and there's no work for you anymore.
So what other services can be sassed out, or have been sassed out?
There are basically every physical server gives you 5 things. The 5 things are basically logon, security, file and print, application, and remote access. And that is all a physical server gives you. Every one of those functions can be SaaSed out to a provider and allow an IT provider to focus more on customizing and prototyping and delivering solutions to the client rather than just basically putting the paddles to an old server and actually making it work. So, like for instance, did you know that people think it's acceptable to have a username and password for security these days? So when you get to your desk, you put in your username, you put in your password, and you log in.
Mm-hmm.
Today, people think that actually is a proper way to handle their security. Today, the proper way actually is, guess what? I enter my username, my password, and I basically get a multi-factor authentication sent out to my cell phone or another device, and I can authenticate myself. And then after that, the system kind of watches my habits. Where am I calling from? Where am I working? How am I working? And it's comparing that against a threat database in real time to ensure that my identity is the right person. When I access files, yeah, that one password is the gatekeeper. I can access the files and do whatever I want with them. Today, I'm going to access files, and guess what's going to happen? I'm going to basically look at a file, open it, and then policies are actually applied onto every single file saying, okay, this file right here contains medical information, and you can only do certain things with this one file. If I choose to email this out to my friend that actually contains the medical information, a pop-up may happen saying, you know what, this here document contains confidential information that cannot leave the business. Do you want to override, yes or no? Or if you don't want to let the user override, they'll say, you're not allowed to email this out. That is the expected level of security for today that people don't even know about. And a lot of this basically is education. Now, we're talking about the death of the IT professional. I'm going to say the death of the old school IT professional in wake of the new solutions professional that needs to happen.
Gotcha. So kind of my thinking from 20 some odd years ago was bang on when I said, hey, I want to be a desktop guy.
Oh. Desktop guys had their purpose. They helped out people who didn't know how to change their password or use Word or Excel, absolutely. Or print out to...
What I like about it is I got to understand the business processes behind the tools and services my clients used.
Exactly, which is basically what, in my opinion, is going to make or break the future IT firm. If the IT firm...
Are you saying, Carl, that it's no longer about the technology, it's more about, being a business systems analyst instead of being an IT professional? That's what I'm hearing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Every client I go to, every new client we pick up, the message is always the same thing. It's the business that drives the technology, not the technology drives the business. Beforehand, when technology was very rigid and inflexible, of course the business had to adapt to the new tech. Now that technology is so variable and can be applied in so many different ways, the technology will fit inside the business like a puzzle and make the business actually better based on the technology. That is how we're going to win today. And that is a big change. I've got guys working for me with 25 years of experience. And 25 years ago, they're on DOS and hammering away on a keyboard with net shares, and it was good. Right now, all those skills are beyond useless because the cloud has leveled the playing field, So that, yeah, they have the technical skill set, but what we need right now are the business skill sets to apply to the tech. And that has to be one person.
What was the command line? Net drive s colon / server / share. Is that, I can't remember now. Was the what you piped into the command prompt on a NT
Seriously?
server?
Net use.
Net use. That's what it was. Net use.
Whack server / share name.
That's what net use. That's right.
Then / user, then password in clear text.
That's goes back.
You just dated yourself there, Stuart.
I just did. This definitely dated myself right there.
Yeah.
Right there. But there's a when I was talking to Adam the other night, you mentioned that there's a lot of stuff outside Office 365 or Microsoft 365 now.
Yeah.
That e-discovery tools and stuff like that nobody like the average IT professional is not even remotely aware of.
Oh, dude, isn't that's painful for me because I love the new tech. I love tinkering. I love discovering, and it just takes a minute for you to open your eyes up and try something new. Like, I don't know what that button there does. I'm going to push that button and see what it does, and it could be good. But it gives that feeling that I'm exploring a place where I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
And if I'm not comfortable with it, I don't know it. If I don't know it, I don't like it. If I don't like it, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
And especially when you're the professional, the expert in that area, and you're asked to do something new that actually is completely right field, it is difficult. And right now, there's so much new technology out there that's competing for the market. Microsoft has a chokehold on it. So does Google, Google Docs, AWS, Azure. They all kind of do roughly the same thing, but differently in some cases. And they keep changing on us. Did you know that my Outlook changes once every month? I get a new update pushed to it.
What was the new cool thing that Office 365 was offering that Adam told me about was coming up that now Office 365 is offering signatures in the cloud.
Yes, your signature now flows across all of your documents in a way.
Hello, Microsoft. It's about frickin' time. The other thing that really bugs me about Microsoft 365 is why do I have to invest in a third-party backup product?
Because Microsoft does not back up your data. A lot of times people say they put the blinders on, it's in the cloud, it's safe in the cloud and can't be backed, and it's automatically saved by the person who's actually storing the data. No, it's not. It is not.
It's your platform, Microsoft. You think you can build in a capability to do first an export of all the mailboxes to different PSD files so you can archive them. Secondly, without having to go into Outlook and do it for every single individual. Secondly, it's your platform. Make a backup solution and put it into your Azure cloud.
Azure has a backup solution, but not for Microsoft 365 as of right yet. But for good reason. Now, imagine this. If you're Microsoft, do you want to be 100% completely liable for your customers' data? Every time you log into Microsoft, there's an MBA, a business
agreement.
An
end-user license agreement, yeah.
Exactly, saying that we do not ensure that your backup here is your data here is going to be safe. Because guess what? If people don't, I don't think most people know this, that if your desktop had ransomware on it, like CryptoLocker or something along those lines, and it actually attaches onto your OneDrive, and then that OneDrive is, of course, attached onto your SharePoint server, it would lock all of your files in the cloud. Your files are still there.
Not for me. I run a Mac.
Okay, the CryptoLocker for Mac then. Yeah, but the thing is, it'll lock all your files in the cloud. Guess what?
Did you not know, Carl, that Macs are immune to viruses and ransomware?
Wow. Do you know that the Ogopogo actually exists in the Okanagan? And Sasquatch is the best friend?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, of course, yes. Not the Yeti, but Bigfoot here.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm not here to bash Macs, but if I was writing a virus, if I was here to make money, I would go for the largest platform, which is PC, since they dominate the market.
Yeah.
So I have the most chance of actually spreading my malware to the largest group of people in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
And Mac doesn't even fit in that category as right yet. Why would it take my time to write a virus for Mac when the majority out there is Windows-based?
Yeah. So there you go, everyone. There's Carl's opinion on Macs this week. on the Calgary Tech Talk podcast.
Check the Gardner Report.
As always, this was episode 3 of our weekly podcast here on Blog Talk Radio. If you're following us for the first time, click on that little follow button up top and follow us. We're produce great content like this every single week. Carl's going to join us. We're going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. Sometimes it's totally made up at the last minute, and sometimes we rehearse it, but most of the time it's made up at the last minute. Carl, give us the information, how people get a hold of you at CTech if they want to know more.
Everyone, if you want to basically know more about my company, just go to ctechgroup.net, ctechgroup.net, and if you want to reach me, my direct number is 403-835-1478. I'd love to hear from you.
Right on, Carl. And another great show. Thanks, Carl. It's always a pleasure to do this with you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Yeah, so visit ctechgroup.net, folks, if you want to learn more about CTech, and we'll see you next week here on the Calgary Tech Talk podcast.